Hi, I'm Lee Syracuse, and I'll be speaking today about the visit of Italian war prisoners to the city of Benicia. The year was probably 1944, 1945, when there was a distinct shortage of men working at the arsenal. So there were two groups of prisoners brought in to work in their stead. The German officers and German soldiers, along with the Italian officers and the Italian prisoners, they were both prisoner of war. On the other hand, you must remember that the Germans were still losing the war and the Italians were very close to pulling out of the war. So the German prisoners were very sullen. The Italians were delighted the war was ending for them, and they thought quite differently than the Germans. Because of the Germans being sullen, they were moved to the middle of the arsenal, away from the fences and gates, etc. I guess they were afraid they might escape and cause havoc. The Italians were put up against the fence. They could easily have jumped over the fence if they wanted to, but why? They were being fed and life was pretty good. So they came into Benicia, these two groups. The Italians looked across this fence, and ultimately someone came to them from the city of Benicia who spoke Italian. That was the first week. The second week, that same family asked if one or two of the prisoners, the Italian prisoners, could come to the city and have dinner with them, and the commandant said fine. The third week, the gates were simply open, and the Italian prisoners came into the city and went back every night. It was like a motel, you're out in the city in the day and you come back at night to sleep. I think the interesting thing was the way the Venetians accepted the Italians. First, the Italians were happy. They're outward-going, pleasant people anyway, and there were many, many Portuguese people in the city. They both were of the same, you might say, Roman background. But there was also things to be done in the city. For example, many of the so-called backyard brick fences or walls were built by the Italians. They went back into their Roman heritage and knew how to do these things. There's a house on the corner of West 3rd and Gold Point Court, right across from the mansion we just spoke about, the Crook's Mansion. And in the backyard, there is a wall built by the Italians. It looks very good, and I'm sure it'll be there forever. I think the other side of the fact was the shortage of men per se in the arsenal and in the city. And these Italians sort of filled in on the voids. There were many romances. You had situations where these prisoners of war were actually getting on buses that were taking them to Vallejo to dances. Now, this is an astounding thing to me that this could happen, but it did happen. Everyone got along well, and as the older Venetian women have often said to me, when the trucks pulled out, the Italian prisoners of war waved goodbye. There were many a tear on the Benicia side. Thank you.